Hey, that last video, I guess it uploaded okay. Sometimes I'm a little bit precautious of doing a video because you'll end up spending 30 minutes or longer and you can't upload it for some reason. But these aren't the best quality videos. I don't expect them to be. Uh, it's more about if somebody's purchasing something from your BrickLink store. I buy from BrickLink, uh, and a lot of times I like to see their web page if they have one. It gives me a little more confidence. Is what it does. So the other part is I would like to have videos that I talk about my stuff, but also I think we're all trying to learn a little bit more about what people are building, maybe why they're building it. Um, I'll try not to repeat too much from other videos, but because this is so new, don't don't get too frustrated. But the we're going to I'm going to try to open it up tonight or first thing in the morning, the BrickLink store, because it's been closed to the public, and that was because I mentioned before some things that happened years ago. So I sell only to locals, and there are enough people around here locally that it's enough to keep you busy. The disadvantage is most people who are local are not like mock builders. They are builders, but normally of a different type. I mean, there's one guy that all he does is build Star Wars mocks, but not in the sense of like these ones for conventions. They're for his little displays. So he'll buy a lot of UCS items and he'll build a little mock to go along with it. Pretty cool. Really enhances some of the scenery, makes it more complete to me. So that's pretty cool. But the majority is with education. And I just want to talk a little bit more about that because I doubt, I'm pushing it right now and I hope it becomes something more in play next year, but or even later this year. I really would like to see more people build educational Lego mocks for schools, for younger children. And if you just think about this, if I ask you, the average kid, to kind of talk to me about a nuclear fusion reactor or a centrifuge, um, believe it or not, most people I think with centrifuge will use their lettuce spinner. But if you built a Lego mock of that item, it's like some kid that builds the Millennium Falcon when he's 10 years old and he still remembers it 20 years later. So maybe not, but it's the principle of building a Lego mock, even if it's not, 1 to 1 to scale, or I mean, even to scale, it's a representative of what it really is. And it allows young kids who want to get into STEM fields or engineering or nuclear engineering or electrical or any of this stuff, trying to understand a little bit more of items that are in the field that you normally don't ever get to see. Um, I'll give you another one, electrical substations. I've seen somebody build a mock on electrical substations, and it is unbelievably great. I mean, that to me is awesome. But if you could make a mock of an electrical substation and you put it on BrickLink for their contest, nobody wants it because it's an industrial item and it's just people don't like this stuff. But I'm not doing it for that part. It's about education, and that's where you're trying to stem this to get something that can be built in a mock size for kids in school, and then they can develop it through instructions. But once they put it together, maybe you have 20 kids building a module, and then they put them all together. And then if it's like the spallation neutron source, um, that's it's a huge item of a lot of little mocks, but when you put it together, then everyone can see the overall project. The particle accelerator in Switzerland, or the one in France with the fusion reactor, what we have in California, or here in Tennessee at Oak Ridge Labs or Y12, everything. It's just, there's so much to it. How about a mold machine? You know, just a mold machine. You'd be shocked. A lot of people have never seen one in their life. Um, and a lot of young kids, they're like, oh, they hear it, or they maybe see it on YouTube, but seeing a small one or like a CNC machine, they love seeing this stuff. And if they build a mock of it, it really sinks into their mind. But I have a little more towards bias of nuclear engineering with fusion, fission, uh, especially now with plasma reactors, even the new thorium reactors. Um, I know there's needs to be a lot more mock designs of these, which hopefully I'll get more involved in. But with all that, there's the BrickLink side of just running a store, trying to keep your head above water, also trying to fill the orders. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I just hope I can keep pushing this, keep providing video content. My daughter was a huge thing of this, especially in the beginning, as she has developed into her specifications with education towards science and math. It's taken a lot of her time, and that's where we're trying to find what time we have available, trying to work on this and advance as much as we can. But you know, I think probably the biggest part is when you don't have a lot of orders into this yet, you're kind of, you don't spend a lot of your time in designing it. So it's kind of an oxymoron, but hopefully I can get things straight here next month or two. But inventory stuff, I try to audit my stuff as much as I can. Keep adding stuff. I have great help with the BrickLink side, where I'm kind of like partnering with a lady who is really good at parting out, knows how to part out, takes care of the parts, pieces, not to scratch them up. So this is something that's been a great benefit that I think that will really work well and cool. The side about Lego investing, um, you can't help from trying to do it, but I do it a little differently, meaning I like the parts. I like unique colors. So this is where I always look at sets with new elements, new parts, and I'm always intrigued by them because they could be limited, but you'd never know. And there's a certain color out right now that is technically to retire at the end of this year, and it's the only color of that element, and it's are of any of them. I mean, it's like only in one set, and I'm like, why would they even experiment with a new color? But that's what it was. It was probably an experiment with a new color. Doesn't go over too good, and it's gone. Just like sand red, some other colors in our past that it was a good idea, but they didn't put it to the palette to continue. But then again, next year you can have 20 sets with it. You just don't know. But on my end, I like the colors. I like the new elements. Man, with Speed Champions right now, it's like putting out so many new elements. You cannot keep up with this stuff. It's crazy. Um, and the other thing is like sometimes it's hard to find certain pieces, and then you'll find out that there's no new sets in the last couple years with them, and then you're stuck in, how do you get more? You um, you know, Fortunately, I have a huge inventory of parts and sets I haven't opened yet, so I don't really sell sets anymore. I try not to make ends meet. That's what I was doing. I was selling a bunch of sets just to pay the bills, but I really bought them to part out. So um, that's where I was kind of hurting myself, but just trying to get to where I'm at today. So hopefully, you know, this works out to where I can learn more about the type of parts that people normally want, because if this might sound mind-boggling to a lot of people, because I've listened to Pops Blocks and Brick Dynasty and Jabbo and all these people. I mean, there's so many of them, right? KDX Bricks and um, a lot of people who just sell the sets. Some sell, parts. Um, what's the other? M&R. I listen to him a lot, but I just listen to enjoy his content. The other guy, Duck Bricks. My gosh, I remember when he first started, I was watching him and I was just like dumbfounded by like, I'm like, who does this at that level? But that's great what he's doing, and it's interesting seeing new items from him too, that you normally wouldn't have seen, especially in overseas. Um, the other one, I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Brixie. Brixie, I don't know if you'll ever watch this, but I cannot stand your content. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is, and I don't mean as you as a person, but your videos drive me up a wall, and physically, I listen to a lot of people. While I'm just sorting, I'll just listen to it and whatever. It's like last night, KDX and Brick Dynasty were going over stuff. I can just listen to it. Sometimes, you're not paying attention, but if I have Brixie in the background, I got to stop and turn it off. Getting out of land, that kind of stuff, no one knows. I personally think they asked you to leave, um, that he was asked to leave, not that he was like, oh, I want to get out of this for whatever reasons. I think it was, it's like if you work at a company and you've done something that you shouldn't be doing, or they just don't like you, and they're kind of like, we kind of would like you to have the opportunity to leave on your own, and it can be a lot more respectful by you're like, yeah, I'll take the chance and just say bye. Or you can try to stick it out, and then it gets nasty, and uh, he chose a smarter route, I think. That's what I think. The other person, my gosh, Stud City, look, I think he seems like a really cool guy, but I can't stand his channel. And this is part because I understand why he's doing it. It makes sense, and you'd have to do it like he does it, swipe the card, you know. But I tell you, I think I've seen too many people buying stuff that they shouldn't be buying it because they got people on whether it's TV at late night trying to sell you stuff or shop at home. Man, you know, and to me with the Lego stuff, when you influence somebody to think that you're going to make money off something, that's wrong. That's why I just don't like it. So home shopping network, people are selling stuff overpriced, but at the same time, you're getting the product, you have it. Same thing with Lego. You know, you might be overpaying for something that you could get cheaper later, or in reality, you're just buying something that you don't really need anyways. So I just don't want to be a part of that type of sales and marketing to generate any ad revenue based upon that kind of content. So, um, but you gotta be careful because you never know. It's like if you see a set that, okay, I've seen sets that were extremely cheap. I would not go on YouTube to be like, hey, man, they're 50% off. Well, you know what? People are going to buy them. I don't need to tell people or get people that are watching me to be like, oh, I'm going to stop what I'm doing so I can go buy it. Dude, it's because I'm pushing them in that direction where maybe they wouldn't have gone in the first place. But then again, everyone's a grown up. They can make their own grown ass decisions, I guess. But um, I've seen I and look, yeah, I am a part. I've been caught doing this myself. Somebody trying to say this is like the best buy. About 5 years ago, I'd say about 5 years ago, maybe four, I don't know. I'd say about five. Um, there's a person, Wolf of Bricks, okay? And, you know, we can laugh about it, but the fact of it is, I still have several boxes full of them. And he literally was up and down about like no questions asked. This is a done deal. This set's going to double, blah, blah, blah. It has not doubled in 5 years. I doubt if it's even at retail price now. I have no idea, but it made sense. I honestly agree with his philosophy that it should have been a great buy, but it wasn't. It just turned out to be a flop. I don't know why. He probably doesn't know either. Um, but I'm stuck with a whole bunch of them because of you know being influencer. They call them influencers or whatever. It's for a reason. You take their what they say a little bit more at heart. But they're not giving financial advice. I know that, but at the same time, if you're just saying, "Hey, these are my top picks," great. This is what I'm going to be buying. Blah blah. This is all great, but when you start saying things of like, you know, hey, this is going to go up at least 50%. I mean, there's like hardly no chance that it won't. Okay, if you and trust me, people look anybody out there. I know several of you have said this, and they recanted over years later to be a little bit more cautious about what they've said because I think people have called them out too. And I'm not. bringing it up or nothing. I am bringing it up, but I'm trying to say is I'm not. Why am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say, look, it's awesome to watch Lego investor channels. I enjoy it, but they're smart on how they play it, and that's what you need to do. The other people in that fine line that are pushing this to where you're trying to convince people to buy something that you think is your number one. No. Now, if they subscribe to you, they're paying you. That's different. It's different. It's not like in just in the public where somebody's watching videos and then they see this and they think, "Oh, I'm gonna make all this money off this," or make a 10% increase. Because Lego does go down in value on some things. So, not everything goes up. And I think it's a super smart thing to get into, but you got to be cautious. Even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, you had to be careful even 10 years ago because it wasn't like I remember I used to get the Death Star. And when I was buying the Death Star and I would sell them afterwards, I was probably selling them for maybe about 10%. That's what I was making on them. Now, if you would have hold it longer and longer and longer, yeah. But at that time, after one of those sets retired, they didn't always like go shooting up in price. They did over, especially with COVID, but not right off in the beginning. Some did, but a lot did not. It's like the Fred Flintstone set, if I remember. It was I think it was an yeah, Lego set. Man, people thought that was like going to be better than sliced bread. No, so you never know. I think that's the hard part. No one knows, and that's fine. That's why we just don't try to convince people. So that's the difference, I think, with Lego investors and people that run BrickLink. We're a little bit more about. Uh, it's really hard to do. So how you do it? It's so freaking weird. Um, yeah, CMFs. That's an interesting one too because CMFs, they're a hit and miss. You really, really don't know. Um, I mean, you'll know certain ones are always going to be good if you find them on sale. That's great, but a lot of times they're $5, and you can hold on to them for a couple years, and maybe it goes to $8, $9. That's you're holding it for years, and then there are ones that will double in value, but double from $5. So it went up to $10. You know, so and you're not going to sell a million of them. So you do it because you like it, and I do enjoy this. I enjoy it greatly. I probably spend 10 hours a day doing this, and um, you know, I have to get my shipping straight. I'm having problems with trying to figure out the best way to ship things. So that's been kind of a problem for me. But overall, I'm just excited seeing more of the newer sets with the new elements, new piece colors. Um, that's it. Alrighty. We'll end this. And RJ Cosmic Bricks.